Funny story. My headphones, the black ones that I usually wear, yeah, they broke. They just snapped. I tried to put it back together, I couldn't. So now we are going old school with the cat ears. If you're an OG from the Smitching Hour, you know exactly what ears I'm talking about. They're the Ariana Grande cat ear headphones, and I used to wear them all the time when filming. Well, smidges, they're back, and so am I. Now, let me tell you about these last couple weeks. I actually didn't have too much going on, but it still felt like a good amount of things. So I went on a couple dates as usual, and the one date was a surprise. It was axe throwing. I was super excited. On my first try, not to brag or anything, but no, I'm gonna brag. I got a bullseye. I know. I'm that good, as we all know. So, yes, we did axe throwing, and we also tried the Wendy's strawberry frosty. Delicious. I wish they had it all the time. Chef's kiss, really. It's just so freaking good. And I know it's just vanilla with like strawberry flavoring in it, but still. And of course, you dip the fries in it. Weird thing, they're not in the paper cups anymore. And they don't give you a spoon. They put it in a plastic cup, which, why would you put it in a plastic cup? I thought we were trying to get rid of plastic. Besides the point, I had no spoon. You can't suck it through a straw because it's too thick. It was a little chaotic, but I had it anyway. And then our second date, we went to see Thor, Love and Thunder, which I actually thought was incredible. And turns out a lot of people didn't like it because I guess there were too many corny jokes and stuff like that. Out of all the movies that they've released, excluding Spider-Man, because, come on, Spider-Man was incredible. So I'm talking about like Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, Eternals. Actually, Shang-Chi's included in that. I hope I said that right. And I actually liked his. So excluding that as well. But out of all of them, I thought this was one of the best ones they released in the new phase. And what else was there? I did go to a barbecue for the 4th of July, and I remade my strawberry shortcake cookies. And I talked about them on a previous episode, so you might know what I'm referring to. If not, I'll tell the story again because I love to talk. So I made these strawberry shortcake cookies, and they were delicious. And I like to put whipped cream on them. And it's like you're eating cake. And it's very refreshing for summer. So anyway, that's not the story. I made these cookies, was so excited to bring them to my boyfriend's family's house for, I think it was another barbecue. And yeah, I think it was like Memorial Day. So I make the cookies, and my nails at the time, they had gems on them. Now I knead the cookie dough by hand. So I'm doing that, bake them and everything, they're all done. And then I look at my hand, and the gems are missing. And I was like, I can't confirm that they're in the cookies, but I can't confirm that they're not in the cookies. So I bit the bullet. I didn't take the cookies. And for a week or two, I was playing roulette to see if I could find any of the gems in the cookies. And there were never any gems in the cookies, which broke my heart. I wish I would have found them in there because then I would have had a reason for not bringing them and for eating all these cookies. But that wasn't the case. But anyway, they were a hit this time, so we did it. And then also, I got a new phone. I'll actually show you guys. Ta-da! Here it is. It has a cute little like sage green case, and then it has this pop socket with like a bee and strawberries on it. I just got it because my phone was an iPhone XS, I think, and apparently Verizon was doing some promotion where you trade that in and it's the same value of an iPhone 13. So we were like, say no more. So we got the phone and I did the transfer. Sad to say, and we will mourn this together right now. I lost all my photos. I know. Moment of silence. I had my graduation photos. I had some photos of Kyle and I together. Honestly, I can't remember all the photos I had. I probably had like maybe 200 something because I normally print my photos out at like CVS or Walgreens or something, but I didn't do it then. And I do have some of my photos on my computer, but normally I don't continuously back them up on my computer because of storage. Like I have to store the videos for the podcast on there, so it doesn't really work out. And those photos are probably from December, whereas these photos were like December on. So I lost them, but things happen. I learned my lesson for next time. That's really all I have. I wanted to keep it kind of brief because for this episode, we have a special guest joining us. Now, let me officially welcome you to the episode. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Smitching Hour. It is Alyssa, and today we are going to be joined by someone you hear me talk about probably 24/7, whether it's on the podcast or whether I'm posting about them on social media, or even if they're here on the podcast, because they have been briefly on an episode, but they didn't really talk too much. I think they said maybe 1 or 2 words and just listened to me talk. Anyway, this guest is my boyfriend. I know, everyone's so excited. Everyone's like shaking in their boots, getting ready, getting the popcorn ready. So Kyle is going to be joining me today, and we are going to be talking about the man, the myth, the legend, the king, Elvis Presley. Thank you very much. And I will be leaving the building and rolling the clip. I would just like to say I gave you a great introduction to the show.
Did you? I hope so.
I did.
I'm pretty great myself, so I don't know. Yeah, I know, right?
I'm going to kick you off right now. In your introduction... What?
Yeah.
I'm trying to have a conversation with you.
I'm just gonna laugh if I look at you. I have to look at the camera or something.
Well, yes, you should be looking at the camera.
I'm just gonna laugh at you if I look at you.
Because of the ears?
Yeah.
So, as I was saying before you rudely interrupted me by laughing at me, this is your first official time on the podcast.
Yes, it is.
Now, you were previously on an episode when we were at the Mathis house, but I was reading my horoscope and I read it to you because I was like, oh, this applies to you. And you were like, yeah, okay. And that was like the only thing you heard from you. So this is like the first time you're actually going to be talking.
Oh, boy.
So we're talking about Elvis.
Yeah.
And I wanted to talk about him, and I wanted you to talk about him with me because we saw the movie together. And I also was thinking about it. I probably should have invited Amanda too, because my sister saw it with us. And also, I was telling her, like, when I see a movie or, like, a show, and it's about a person, I get, like, a fixation about it, and, like, I need to learn everything about them.
Austin Butler.
Yeah.
You're so hot.
Turns out everything I just said was a lie because it's just to cover up my obsession for Austin Butler.
Yeah, I knew it from the start. It's the only reason why we saw it.
No. It was just a majority of the reasons.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was telling her, like, I need to know everything about them, like, once I see films about people. And she was, like, the same way. She goes, oh, I Googled everything.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, maybe you should have, like, come on here with us and talked about him because I'm like going in depth here. I'm going in about his life and then conspiracy theories to keep it on brand.
I Googled nothing, so.
You don't sound too confident.
I come and go.
Okay. Well, I just say we wing it, you know?
Okay.
What is there to lose? An episode? All right.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
So to begin, in 1935 was when Elvis Aaron Presley was born to Gladys and Vernon Presley in Tupelo, Mississippi. I don't know if I said that right.
Tupelo.
Tupelo.
Wow.
I just wanted to say it fancy.
Yeah,
So if it's
that was
wrong,
pretty
it's
fancy.
fine because it sounded cool when I said it.
Yeah.
And turns out he was supposed to have a twin brother.
Oh.
Yeah. But his brother was a stillborn.
Oh, that's sad. I was gonna make a joke about a twin brother, but now I can't.
Oh my god.
Imagine two Elvises. That'd be pretty cool.
Well, that's what I was thinking about. I was like, what would life have been like if he had a twin brother?
If it was like two of them and like they were in their band, like in a band.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, do you think
cool.
that they would join like a band together and just be like two brothers?
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
The band.
The Elvis
The
Brothers.
Naked Brothers band. I
Oh,
don't know
God.
if anyone remembers
That
that.
was
Do you
so
remember
weird.
that?
Yeah, it's 10-year-olds without their shirts on, like singing songs. What was that about? Isn't that weird?
Are we sure they didn't have shirts on?
I'm pretty sure in like almost all of their music videos they didn't have shirts on.
I don't know. I
And
loved
it's like-
them. It was Nate and Alex Wolf.
Must have been Dan Schneider or something.
Oh my god.
Just...
Anyway, we'll talk about that another
Yeah.
day. We'll get into all
That's
of
a
the
whole nother
Nickelodeon
thing.
issues.
Oh god.
So, anyway, his brother was a stillborn, and Elvis was born into a working class family that moved around a lot. And in 1945, so he was about 10 years old, he performed at a talent show that was broadcast over a radio station where he ranked 5th place.
That wasn't in the movie.
It wasn't.
Oh,
How dare
how'd
they?
they leave out that big portion?
I know. It's
Wow.
when it all
He
started.
placed 5th? Is that what you said?
Yeah, he placed 5th.
Wow. I wonder what he did. Like, what did he do? Is this
He-
after he, like, got his love for music? So you think he probably sang?
Well, yeah, like
Yeah.
he was attending church and stuff like that.
Ah, got the gospel.
So he started
He
singing.
got the power of Christ on his side.
He did.
And he
I
came
got the
in
power
fifth.
of Christ and anime on my side. Do you remember that?
Yeah. And he still came in 5th.
But yeah, so he started pretty young. I mean, his love for music probably started earlier than that, but his performing wise started pretty young.
Yeah.
And then in 1946, him and his family, so this is where the like church comes in. This was where more specifics. They attended the Assembly of God Church, and that was where he was introduced to like gospel. And then at the age of 11, since his family couldn't afford a bike, they purchased him a guitar for his birthday.
Instead of a bike, how was a guitar more expensive than a
That's
bike?
what I was thinking.
I think they said that in the movie too.
Yeah.
How was a guitar more expensive than a bike?
I think that guitar they said was like $11, and I was like, how much was this bike then? And how was a bike more money than a guitar? Because nowadays, guitars go for so much money.
Well, I wonder what.
Only thing you're buying for like $11 is a ukulele, if that.
I'm guessing it wasn't like a sophisticated like electrical
No, it's
guitar.
probably just like a
Like a 2-string,
acoustic
3-string,
or something.
So I guess it probably wasn't that expensive, but like, what type of
But
bike are they
still, like
getting?
nowadays, that would still be a lot of money.
I guess, I mean,
I feel like I could get a
Does-
bike cheaper than a guitar now.
who knows? Maybe a metal bike back then was more expensive than a wood guitar. Who knows?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So then, after this, his family ended up moving to Memphis, Tennessee. And in high school, he won first place in a singing competition.
Wow.
They had a talent show. And once he graduated, he worked various jobs and was actually taking classes to become an apprentice electrician to get enough money to record a demo.
That's a big jump for electrician to
How?
Elvis.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how crazy is that? Like, what if his music career never kicked off and he was just an
Elvis
electrician?
the electrician. Elvis the electrician. That's pretty funny.
That's so strange to me.
Yeah. Well, at least he stayed electric. Ha ha. Ha.
I got it.
Good.
I just
I didn't hear
didn't
you
wanna
laugh. Yeah.
I was laughing on the
I
inside.
can repeat it.
No, you don't have to.
Okay.
I heard.
All right. Good.
I heard through the headphones.
Okay.
But yeah, I was even with that. I was just thinking like how versatile he was
Yeah.
because he did that. He did other various jobs. He went into the military.
Well, how
Was
how
a singer,
hard
an actor.
how hard can an electrician be in the 50s? There's probably like one light bulb to a house.
I don't know.
If
you think you could do it.
Just connect one wire to the other wire.
I mean, clearly there was a need for it,
That's
and
pretty
you had
funny.
to go to school for
Some
it.
houses didn't even have light bulbs.
They're not that old.
I mean, the house that we saw in the
1950s?
movies
What do you
was
think?
like
They're living in the Stone Age?
It was like a wooden shack when in the movie.
Because he was poor, Kyle, not because of the times.
So he's a rich electrician traveling the world for the famous people?
He could get rich once he gets jobs. Oh my god. Oh my goodness.
Replace enough light bulbs and you'll get rich.
Moving on.
Okay.
In 1953, Elvis signed with Sun Studio, who released his first single, That's Alright.
That's what,
alright.
Is that what it's called?
That's Alright.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's alright?
The song.
Oh, okay. The song's not that good, it's just alright.
I'm gonna cry. Stop it.
It's like the band The Who. It's like, who? The Who? Who's that?
That's like the thing, like who's on first.
It's like who wrote the song? The Who? Yeah, The Who. Who? Stupid.
So in 1953 he signed. The song was released in 1954, and then he began touring as the Blue Moon Boys.
What does that mean?
That's what they were called, the Blue Moon Boys.
Blue Moon Boys.
They were blue.
They were like the blue bald guys. What are they called? The drummer guys?
The Blue Man Group?
Yeah, they're like that. Except not like that at all.
Yeah. Elvis was dressing with blue face paint and all black.
Oh.
So he does this with Bill Black and Scotty Moore. And at this point is when they all quit their jobs to focus on touring and their music career. And at the time, Scotty Moore was his manager. But then Elvis ended up signing with Bob Neal. And then after that, after meeting the Colonel, who no one likes,
Colonel Sanders,
Colonel Tom Parker, he ended up being the manager of Elvis. And he was also the manager of like the Hank Show. And as his manager, they decided to end up keeping Bob Neal as an advisor instead of the manager. So Bob Neal was still part of it, just no longer Elvis's manager. And then Scotty was still in the band. Scotty doesn't know.
I was really thinking of that song too.
And then in 1955, Elvis signed a contract with RCA Records, which also bought the rights to the 5 singles he had with Sun Studio, so they ended up like re-releasing them and stuff. It wasn't really until like 1956 with his single Heartbreak Hotel that his career like grew tremendously. And he ended up taking the top spot on the charts. And then during this time is when he made his TV debut on the Dorsey Brothers stage show, kicking off various other TV appearances. I have a question for you.
Oh.
Do you have a favorite Elvis song?
I do like Hound Dog.
Okay, I was gonna say if you say like
Dog?
I can't help falling in love, like that's everyone's.
Yeah. Is it titled Hound Dog?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I like that one. That one like gives me like the classic like it's the 60s, like you're in a truck going down like the prairie with your windows down.
Yeah. I like You're the Devil in Disguise.
How's that one go?
You're the devil in disguise. Oh, yes, you are. I can't go that low.
Yeah, no, I don't know that one.
You really don't know that one?
I don't think
I'll
so.
play it for you.
I'll have to play it later, yeah.
No. So, after this, in 1956, he signed a 3-year contract with Paramount Pictures. And turns out he was like an incredible actor. Everyone loved him. His movies had great success. And I never knew he acted until we saw the movie.
To be honest, hot take. If you're just good looking, you're a good actor or actress. If you're just a good looking person, the writer does all the work anyway. You just say what's on the script.
But you need the skill to like perform it.
To do like the facial expression that the script tells you to do. I don't know. I feel like
it's not always gonna say like a facial expression.
I don't know.
I mean, it's descriptive, but like not everyone can act.
If you're a good-looking person, I feel like people are gonna like seeing you on a big screen.
Even if you can't act.
Yes.
Because I think, like, you could look good and, like, they'll pick you to act, but, like, that doesn't mean you're good at it.
I don't know. I feel like you do
I don't think everyone can act.
Oh. But he did have that charm to him, so I could see him being a good actor. He had the stage presence. He was fine with the ladies, you know. He was there.
Yeah. And so. I mean, I should have expected it just because, like, a lot of singers, they do end up going into films too, or vice versa. Like, Taylor Swift, she was in New Girl.
She was a New Girl?
Yeah, she broke up Cece's wedding with that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think she was in Grey's Anatomy or something.
Well, she's in the next.
And then she was in
movie
Valentine's Day with like Taylor Lautner.
I don't know that one. She's in one that's coming out. You see the commercials for it.
Oh yes, like, she is. And Margot Robbie's in it.
Taylor Swift.
Who else was in that?
Oh, Margot Robbie.
Yeah, that's why you wanted to see it.
Yeah, we gotta see Wolf of Wall Street. She's in that too.
That's on our bucket list.
She has a very particular scene.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It's a very, I'm gonna wink at the camera, very particular scene if you've seen Wolf of Wall Street.
I hate men. I can't. Okay, so.
Moving on.
Going back to him being talented and in movies, his first film was Love Me Tender, and originally it was named something else, but they knew that the song was going to be so popular, so they ended up naming the movie after that instead.
What was it the first time, do you know? Did it say?
It was like something Brothers or something.
Huh.
Yeah.
Love Me Tender is a nice title.
It is. Yeah. And then during that year, he also dyed his hair jet black.
Jet black.
Just like his jet black heart.
Whoa.
Like 5 Seconds of Summer.
Okay.
I'm like on a 5 Seconds of Summer.
You're losing me.
Jet Black Heart is a song by 5 Seconds of Summer.
I would have no idea. I would have no idea.
Then, in 1957, he purchased his mansion in Graceland. Which now is a tourist attraction, and Grace has actually been there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she took a trip to Tennessee and went there, and then she also, like, drove to Nashville since it's not too far. So now, naturally, I want to go there because I want to do a tour and everything, and she actually recommended a video that was, like, an hour long, but I'm going to watch it later. And it's like a tour of his house, and she goes, oh, you could watch this instead of going, and I was like, it's not the same.
Yeah, he always brought his friends with him, like, everywhere. Like, his childhood friends were always with him at every house, on every, like, bus, going wherever, like, tour or whatever.
Yeah, he was very, like, family and friend oriented.
Yeah, he was like George Clooney does that, like, his closest friends are, like, always with him, like, all the time, and, like, gives money to them all the time. Yeah. I mean, hey, if you're giving me money just to hang out with you, sure, I'll be with you.
Oh my god, that's terrible.
Dude, what do you think? I wouldn't
do that.
His friends probably freeloaded like crazy.
Yeah, well, yeah, but, like, that's a horrible thing to do. It'd be different if he's like, oh, like, come with me. Like, I mean, it's different from being like, oh, you're paying, right? Or them being like, oh, it's my treat, please come, like, I want you to be there. Yeah,
that's why in the movie, there was that one guy who was always in a different car. Anytime it panned to the house, he was always in like a play. I don't know what they call it, like a little play car. You know, like where you're sitting in it, like, you know, like those electric Jeeps, but like back in like the '60s.
Okay.
Yeah, so like he was always in one, but went from like one type to another type to another type, and like how he was just given stuff the whole time, and like all of them had like different gadgets and stuff. They weren't paying for that stuff. I'm sure Elvis just gave it to him.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, if I live in a mansion for free with my friend who's just paying for it.
But, I mean, the thing is like, if you have, like, the money, like, you're going to not know what to do with it. Like, Elvis spent a lot of his money. He had so many cars and everything. What else is he going to do with it?
That. How do you have multiple cars? How does that work?
Well, I mean, once you have so much money, at that point, you're just like, I'll just have it to have
I'll just drive a car Monday, I'll drive a different car Tuesday, I'll drive a different car Wednesday.
Every day you have a different car.
I have a rocket ship at that point.
Never have to redrive them. So, yeah, he has the mansion in Graceland. And also, they have it where they have, like, a virtual concert of him.
In
Graceland.
YouTube? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, like can you watch it online or you have to be there?
I don't know if you can watch it online, but like they have the show for you to like watch, and like it's like a hologram of him, I assume. And I think that's so cool, but I was even talking to Amanda about it, and she goes, why can't we just let the dead be dead? I don't know if, like, is this something that he would have wanted?
I'm sure he doesn't want people impersonating him on every street corner in Vegas too, you know? It's like, what are you gonna do, you know? So.
And you could get married in Vegas and have him, like, officiate the wedding and everything.
Married by Elvis.
Yeah.
Oh. I can't do it that well. Oh.
I just hit my head.
It's your cat ears. I know, punch you.
But yeah, also, so Priscilla Presley was the one who made his house like a tourist thing. Like, she's the co-founder and everything.
She did? Oh, yeah. That's kind of weird. Is
because
this the wife with the kid? Yeah. Oh, that's a little strange.
Because, I mean, no, even though they divorced and everything, like, she was, like, his true love, I believe. I can't speak on behalf of him. I mean, but, like, even she is, like, still in love with him.
He had so many women in his life. I mean, for him to pick her, I mean, she had to be something more, you know, to have a kid with.
But even when he picked her, like, he didn't. He was still cheating on her and, like, kissing fans and everything. He was
kissing everybody.
It's absurd.
I would have loved to see the performance by him.
I know. That's why I want to go to the virtual concert.
It's not the same.
It's not the same, but... hips. So, like, it's the best I can do. I want to see
his hips move.
So, okay, the year that he purchased Graceland is when he also finished, like, 3 films. And there were numerous, like, song releases. And at that point, he was dubbed the King of Rock and Roll, or the King for short. Mm-hmm. And I would just like to say, I thought that he was only inducted in, like, the Country Hall of Music, rock and roll, gospel. Also, he's in the Rockabilly, the Memphis Music Hall of Fame, and Mississippi Musicians Hall of Fame.
I didn't even know those other things existed.
I didn't either. But I was like, how? Like, there's so many things that he's...
I guess from being from there, you know, he had a huge reputation.
And also, I guess just his style of music literally fit into a lot of categories because of his influence.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So, as we were talking, he had some promiscuous dances. He was thought of as rebellious and promiscuous due to his dance moves. So then Parker decided to try and develop a new Elvis. So he had him dress in like a suit and tie and everything and perform Hound Dog. With an actual hound dog. And he was very embarrassed by it and was just like not going for it.
Couldn't move a pinky.
But the thing is that in the performance, like, he doesn't show it. He looks like he's just like playing around, having a good time, and then he just leaves the stage real quick.
Yeah, he ain't nothing
but like
but a hound
no one
dog.
even like thought anything about that either. Like him leaving the stage fast. It wasn't until like after the fact when he admits like I didn't like that.
Yeah.
So then, this was the height of his career, and it ended up having to take a bit of a pause because he was drafted into the military to serve 2 years in the Korean War. And when he went into it, he didn't want any special service or anything. Like, he just wanted to be treated like everyone else. And this was an idea to help with, like, his clean-cut image. And they were thinking, him and Parker were thinking that, like, rock and roll would pass by the time he got back. Which obviously wasn't the case. It just grew.
Yeah.
So then, during this time, in basic training in 1958, he took an emergency leave to visit his ill mother before she passed away. So he was, as we said, like, he's very close with his family and friends, which is why he had them all around. And she was living in Graceland with his father and stuff. And then, in 1959, while living in a German army base... while he was 24, he met 14-year-old Priscilla, who we were just talking about.
Oh,
and
man.
This kind of, like, kicked off their relationship. Now, her father was her stepfather. James Wagner was a Navy pilot who transferred to Germany. And she was invited by some pilot or something, or someone in the military, and his wife to meet Elvis. And he, like, picked her out. He was like,
hey,
it's
you,
her.
14-year-old.
It's
Get
her.
over here.
And I think it was partially because, like, she probably reminded him of, like, his mother and everything, and...
Hey, how old are you? Perfect.
No, it wasn't like that. I mean, he liked her, but, like, he even said, like, she was very mature for her age, and they didn't really start anything. So, like, yeah, the age gap is weird, but, like, if you think about it, if they met when she was, like, 24 and he was 34, no one would care. And, like, I mean, like, she hung out with him all the time. They did admit that on their second date they kissed. But, like, otherwise they kind of, like, denied that there was anything, like, actually going on. So then in 1960, Elvis was honorably discharged from the Army after rising to the rank of sergeant and earning many medals. It's so weird to think of Elvis like this.
Yeah, what? He became a sergeant in 2 years?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then shortly after, he returned to filming movies and albums. And then in 1962, he renewed his contract with RCA Records for 4 years. And then around 17 or 18, after having visited Elvis multiple times, in 1963, Priscilla finally moved in with him, and I believe she finished high school there too.
Nice.
Yeah. And then during that time, he had a year-long affair with his co-star in Viva Las Vegas, and Margaret.
A year long?
Yeah, which ended because he thought she leaked they were engaged.
How do you have a year-long affair? You just have 2 girlfriends at that point.
Because, well, I mean, it's a year-long affair. It's a year-long affair if, like, Priscilla doesn't know it.
It's like
it could be like because they're stars together, it's like a fake affair.
Yeah, every other week they hook up, or, before you know it, a year.
But you could have a year-long affair and still be with someone. I mean, Priscilla was with him for, like, 6 years and was okay with him kissing fans and cheating on her.
Yeah, I don't know. That's her deal.
So then in 1964, he signed a contract with MGM, so another movie company. And then in 1966, Elvis proposed to Priscilla and they got married 4 years later in Las Vegas.
Aww.
And again, they claimed that they were not intimate at all until their wedding.
Yeah, okay. You see that man?
Whether we believe
You see that man's hips?
Yeah, I don't know. Pretty dreamy. Pretty promiscuous.
Exactly. Promiscuous boy.
I know. I kept thinking of that song every time I saw the word.
He knows what he wants, and she's got what he needs.
So then in 1968, Priscilla gave birth to their daughter, Lisa Marie Presley.
Oh, that's a cute name.
And this was also the year of his comeback, returning with a TV special. So then in 1969, he starred in his last film and then went back to focusing on music. In 1970, he began performing in Las Vegas, and a year later, he was awarded the Grammy Awards Lifetime Achievement Award.
Wow.
Then 2 years later, him and Priscilla divorced and had shared custody of their daughter. And it is said she divorced him due to having an affair with her karate instructor. But she did also say, like, they both cheated. Like, that was really...
Yeah,
So that's the thing, like...
It was more flexible.
I don't know why they stayed together. Like, I don't know if they stayed for their daughter, because if they were both cheating on each other, why were you...
This must have
Why'd
been...
you bother? This
karate instructor had to have been, like, David Hasselhoff or something. How are you going to drop Elvis for a karate instructor?
I would have dropped Elvis the second he was kissing fans.
For a karate instructor?
No, well, I don't care what I drop him for. I drop him for no one. If I see my man performing... Yeah, Kyle, you can listen to this because you're my man. If I see my man performing and he's going up to fans kissing them, we're done. I don't want that.
I think she took it more as like a stage kiss, as like, thank you for coming to my show. Mwah. Oh, thank you.
That
for
was
coming
like
to
a
my
whole
show.
face.
Yeah, he
kiss.
did grab the face, but that was a little weird.
And know that your fans are like turned on by you, and no. And then also the fact that like he tours or does whatever, and like he's sleeping with the girls every night. Like you just let it happen. No, I ain't playing no games. I don't care if he's Elvis.
She just sat back.
Done.
She sat back.
Period.
Watched the lips, touched the lips. Sat back.
Sat back and watched.
Yep.
So then Elvis did get into another relationship in 1972 that lasted until 1976. And that was with Alyssa Thompson, who was a model and former beauty queen. But then this ended because of his prescription drug addiction to sleeping medication. And she said it was like she felt like she was taking care of a newborn.
I can imagine, like, when you have to watch over, like, your drunk friends, and they're just, like, stumbling over themselves.
Well, that's the thing, like, he would sleep at night, and she'd, like, have to check for a pulse and everything, like, make sure he's still breathing.
Oh, that's crazy. Like, you wake up, you're just checking his pulse. Like,
yeah,
hey,
like,
poke him with a stick. Hey, you
like, it was a constant worry.
Yeah.
And she had every right to be, because he, during this time, was hospitalized for various things, like pneumonia, hepatitis, and this was all due to his drug dependency. Why'd you look at me like that?
Your headphones make me laugh.
We've gone so long without talking about the headphones.
I was looking at my reflection on the earpiece of the headphones.
Okay. So this was due to his drug dependency, but right after being checked out, he would still perform, and then the cycle would kind of just continue over and over again.
Yeah.
So I feel like this was like the point where he really just like didn't care about himself. He was just going with the motions.
Show must go on. Colonel needs his boy. He needs the show.
Needs the money.
When he said, he was, get that man on stage in that one scene, I was like, oh my god. Dude, like, can't even open his eyes.
You know, and then the dad in the movie was just
He's like, oh yeah, sure.
Do what you gotta do.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, sure. The dad was horrible. Oh my god.
But I don't want to, like, I don't know if that's actually how his dad was, or if that was dramatized, so I don't want to
true.
talk ill of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 1977 was when he performed his last concert in Indiana, which after he went home to Graceland. But while there, his fiancée at the time, Ginger Allen, which is weird because some articles said fiancée, others said girlfriend. But then again, like, the whole thing surrounding his death, like, there's different information everywhere. So she said that she found him unresponsive in a sitting position on the toilet, recalling that he was blotchy and had purple discoloration, his eyes were bloodshot, and he was staring straight ahead. And again, as I was saying, some articles say otherwise. So this one article said that he was like laying on the floor or something. So I don't know if they're like changing the story because like they're trying to make it like maybe less humiliating or something, or
I mean,
I don't really know, because that's not like
the worst, one of the worst ways you could go. And
that's the thing, like that's a big thing for what everyone remembers him by.
Yeah. So I'm sure they were trying to cover it up and just say, oh, he had a heart attack, he's on the floor, you know.
Yeah, and he was rushed to the hospital due to this, but he was pronounced dead from cardiac arrest, which was a result of the prescription drugs he had been on, and in his final moments it is believed he strained so hard to pass a bowel movement that the effort was too much pressure on his heart. Yeah,
that sounds pretty rough. That sounds like a tough time. Don't do drugs.
That's also like no way to be remembered.
Yeah,
that's the guy who died on the toilet.
He's like the guy who started like the merchandise chain, you know. Yeah. There's Elvis everything. Mm-hmm. Elvis sewing machines, Elvis Christmas ornaments, you know. Yeah. So people remember him through that stuff too.
And then also after his death, so his doctor was indicted on felony charges for overprescribing and over distributing controlled substances, but was acquitted. But he still did lose his medical license. Yeah. So, fun fact, well, not very fun, but in the last 8 months of his life, he was prescribed over 10,000 doses of various drugs.
Wow. 10,000.
Like, how did the doctor think that was all right?
Hey,
and why did no one try to get him help?
The doctor saw that ching, the cash dollar sign.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, he did not care.
Yeah. So I feel so bad for Elvis. And
yeah,
I miss Elvis.
Well, towards the end,
Elvis deserved
sad.
better.
He had a pretty sad life throughout. He was pretty much forced to perform as one place for the rest of his life when he just wanted to travel. He wanted to tour the world, and he couldn't do it because the Colonel Sanders told him he can't. So.
Yeah. Well, there was also a thing where I think it was an interview or something. I might be wrong, but the Colonel was saying how he did tell Elvis that he could go, he just wouldn't go with him.
Yeah, because he manipulated him to thinking the Colonel was part of his family, and Elvis was so attached to his family, he wanted to leave his family behind.
Well, I don't know if it was trying to manipulate him or just being no, I just don't want to go.
Yeah. Yes.
So then, conspiracy-wise, was a lot around his death, but a lot of it also, the circumstances of his death, but a lot of it, too, was also, did he even really die? Do you think Elvis is dead?
Yes.
I think Elvis is dead.
If he was alive, he'd be mobbed by, all the footage. Everything's on video nowadays.
Well, it's not necessary that he would be found. If you don't want to be found, you're not going to be found.
Oh.
It's the idea that Tupac is on some island somewhere, Michael Jackson disappeared, Bigfoot is real, just hidden. I
don't know. I feel
if you want to go off the grid, you're going to go off the grid.
If he was alive, I feel like he would have been found by now.
I don't think so.
I think so.
But I don't think he's alive, but I think if he were and was trying to hide it, he wouldn't be found. Because you could change your appearance and everything,
Yeah, he had no money.
You could live in a forest and have everyone do everything for you. It's...
Yeah,
you could
Elvis,
go off the grid.
From showman to mountain man, You
could go off the grid. If that's what makes him happy. But anyway, there is a Facebook group that Elvis is alive. And then there's also an Elvis sighting society. So... one of the instances, on the day Elvis died, there was a man who traveled from Memphis airport and flew one way to Argentina. And allegedly he looked like Elvis, but he gave the name John Burroughs, which was Elvis's alias for booking hotels. And now whenever people see a man that looks like Elvis in Argentina, they take photos, apparently. A poor man. I mean, that is very suspicious.
Yeah, he has the same name.
Yeah.
That's a little weird.
But who knows? Maybe he was doing it as I'm going to toy with all of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was also a whole thing with a groundskeeper from Elvis's estate, and they were like, oh my god, this is Elvis. And I was like, if Elvis wanted to fake his death, he wouldn't come back to Graceland.
To be a groundskeeper.
Yeah. So... the groundskeeper came forward and was like, this is my name. I am not Elvis.
Not Elvis.
I wish I was.
Sorry, not Elvis.
Yeah. And then another one, so after his death, when Graceland opened, a man visited with his family and took a photo showing Elvis in a pool house. Now, someone said that it was Al Strada, but others still speculate. And I also don't know how Al Strada is. Can you Google that? Do you have your phone on you?
Al Strada? How do you spell
Al
that?
Strada.
Oh, Al.
Big Al.
L. There's no pictures of Al Strada.
Okay, so maybe Al Strada is Elvis Presley.
Yeah, I guess so.
So then, besides that, on what would have been Elvis's 82nd birthday, there was a gray-haired man in Graceland with security guards around him. So people speculated that was Elvis. And then also, there was a homeless man's body discovered under a bridge in California in 2015. And in the book, Urban Legends, Strange Tales, and Unsolved Mysteries from Around the World, it said police tested his DNA and the name Presley emerged. Apparently, he resembled how the king would have looked at that age, and others believe, for some reason, that somehow it was his dead twin.
He just had a
so
twin.
His twin, I guess, never
the brother.
died. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. He was there the whole time.
Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know what that's about.
He was reborn when Elvis died.
They just took him away so Elvis could have a life of his own.
I know there has to be an Elvis alive in the world. So when Elvis 1 died, the brother Elvis 2 emerged. Full-grown adult.
Was reborn.
He was reborn an adult.
This is terrible.
Nah.
I feel so bad.
Nah.
And then the book says technicians never heard anything else about it and were told to keep it to themselves. And then videos and other articles came out saying FBI spokesperson Philip Hunter confirmed it was Elvis and he was in witness protection program.
Yeah? You right over there?
It's just so unbelievable. He was in a witness protection program to escape the mafia.
Hey,
Elvis?
When the mob's coming.
Elvis?
The mob's coming.
I mean, honestly, I could see
the shady stuff
how
he could have
Elvis
done.
dressed. I definitely could see him as a mobster.
He could have done anything that, you know,
I don't
could
want to
get the
think
mob
of
involved.
him doing anything bad.
Who knows?
I like
Who knows
Elvis.
what he did?
No.
Who knows what he could have done?
No way.
Okay.
He was a good guy.
Ah.
And then also some people thought his death was fake because his gravestone said Aaron instead of Aaron.
Oh, yeah.
So Aaron instead of Aron.
Aaron instead of
But that was because as he got older, he started spelling his name Aaron.
Aaron.
Aaron, yeah.
Aaron instead of Aaron.
Did any of those change your mind? Do you think Elvis is alive?
No, I don't think he's
I don't think Elvis is alive, but the one that was, like, kind of interesting was the guy who traveled from Memphis to Argentina.
Yeah.
That's the most believable out of all of them for me.
He might have just been like, oh, Elvis does this fake name. I'll do the same name. He probably just thought it was funny.
Yeah. On the day Elvis died. Yeah. How inconsiderate. Maybe he was doing it as, like, a tribute.
Oh, maybe. He could be doing that. We never know. Let's go to Argentina and find him.
So then I wanted to know.
Yeah.
Because that's Elvis.
Mm-hmm.
What was your opinion on the movie? Because that's really why I wanted to talk about Elvis, because I've been thinking about him ever since the movie.
I liked it. Being 22, obviously I know who Elvis is, but I never really knew anything about his life. I just knew, like, he dressed really fancy and had crazy sideburns. And he had the peanut butter, bacon, banana sandwich. And how he died. So,
I forgot about that.
That's really, yeah, that probably is why he got so fat. But,
Stop it. No, it wasn't.
So greasy. Anyway, yeah, so, like, I never really knew anything about him, so this movie definitely incited me a little bit on how mistreated he was and how mistreated other artists probably were at the time. You know, they're just, the managers ran his life, or the manager, Colonel just ran his life, so.
That's the thing that I like about these movies is, like, you learn so much that you didn't realize before in regards to, like, what goes on behind the scenes and stuff.
And, like, I thought he was, like, just kind of a little popular and then kind of gained his popularity through, like, all the merchandise and stuff. But he was, like, a phenom, like, even before all that merchandise. Yeah. He was, like, crazy popular, not just in the South where he's from, but everywhere. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
I think a lot of it, too, is just, like, again, like, the different styles in his genre, but also, like, the type of person he was. Like, he was accepting of, like, all people.
Yeah, the movie touched a good bit about racism, too, like, how he performed kind of, like the music that in the South with, like, black people and stuff and through gospel and stuff like that. As a white person, people kind of took that negatively, so it's interesting. You know, it's interesting how he was brought up and how he grew and how he kind of embraced how he grew up. So it was pretty cool.
I saw this TikTok, and it was saying how this girl went to see the movie, and this other girl, like, older woman, was, like, sobbing behind her.
Oh, wow. And
she, like, turned around to look at her, and she goes, "This is gonna be you one day when they do a Harry Styles movie."
What?
Because people loved him. And, like, yes, we know who he is and, like, we appreciate his music and, like, who he was. But, like, again, we don't know all those details or actually got to experience him like the older generation did. So we'll never fully understand what they went through for this.
Who knows? Maybe Harry Styles' manager is putting him through all through his hard stuff.
No! I'm just saying, like, in general, like, if, not necessarily, like, management, I mean, I'm sure Harry Styles been through it. One Direction management, his own management now, maybe. But, like, if a movie, like, once he's older and passes and whatever goes on in his life, like, all that stuff's gonna emerge of, like, what happened. Maybe they'll confirm Larry Stylinson. Do you know what that is?
Nope, I have no idea.
It's Harry Styles, and then it was, oh my god, Louis Tomlinson. That was his name.
Yes.
Okay, Louis Tomlinson and Harry Styles. Larry Stylinson.
Okay. That was it? They just thought he was a couple?
They thought that they were a couple, so maybe if they created a movie about Harry Styles, that information would finally be given to us.
Yeah, it's interesting when, like, someone famous dies and you learn a lot of stuff that they kept hidden, you know? It's very interesting.
Yeah. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm ready to eat. Are you ready to eat?
I'm ready to eat.
We're going to eat.
We're going to go eat.
Alrighty, guys, so it is back to just me, and before we close out the show, we're getting into our nebula check, so I already queued it up on my phone. Also, can anyone tell me, because all the advertisements on here before I get the week horoscope is for those, either like a bingo cash game or like a bubble pop game where you win cash. Are any of those actually real? Or is it all just scams? Because they have tons of users. They're ranking pretty high. I don't know. Do we trust it? Do we not? Let me know. So, for my nebula check, for my focus of the week, it's compromise. Which is kind of ironic because while I'm filming this, it will air on Sunday, and right now it is. Which is kind of funny because the day that I am filming this, I was supposed to be going to a fair with Kyle. But instead, we decided to compromise and film this today and do the fair the next day. So, kind of crazy. We're already starting off strong with coincidences. Love is 76%, career is 94%, business is 92%. I have never, ever seen Nebula give numbers like that. It's usually like 70, 75, 95, 92? Who changed this app? I want to know. Something fishy's going on. So, let's continue. Let's end this episode instead of me just continuing to rant about random things. So this week brings up some important themes around compromise and working with others as the moon in your 7th house of partnerships meets up with Saturn on Friday. Expect to see things through a more realistic lens and get a better handle on your interpersonal relationships as a result. Collaborations, discussions, and coming together with the people around you will make a big difference towards you seeing the results you want. Love this week will tend to be in focus on Monday as the moon forms in opposition with Venus. This alignment helps you get into some heady conversations with a love interest or share your perspective on something with more honesty. It is a good time for saying what is true for you. The full moon on Wednesday is in your 6th house of daily routines and health, which will help you see your daily habits within a bigger context. This time can be used for understanding your health in more depth and getting a clearer understanding of practical things you can do regarding your wellness. You tend to be pretty open to meeting new people this week, wanting to go outside your usual social circles. There can be many events or gathering opportunities over the course of Friday through Sunday that will be perfect. See what is going on in your local community. Oh my God. See what's going on in your local community. The fair that I'm going to. Okay. I need to put that away before I spiral. So that is all that I have for you guys today. I want to thank you all for listening. And if you could like or subscribe to us on YouTube, as well as follow us on SoundCloud, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. If there's any way to like or maybe rate us, please do. Also, you could find us on social media. So we're on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, all at the Smidging Hour. As for my personal, it's AlyssaGrace_X on Instagram. Truly, again, I really do want to thank you guys for all that you do. I have definitely seen growth with our social media accounts or our listens in the past couple months, or maybe just this month. So we wouldn't have that without you guys tuning in. So thank you all, and I will see you smidges in 2 weeks. Bye!